Alright guys, welcome back. This time we are doing a 3v3 gameplay, but we are actually doing a voiceover where we kind of analyze the whole game and what we're doing as far as the build and why we're going that route and what's our plan going throughout the match. So I'm going to be going a top end damage build with Krul with a lot of cooldown. So it's a very awkward build. So what I'm doing is I'm going with a tension bow, going a little bit of defense with a slumbering husk, probably going into my shiver steel for that attack speed and that slowing effect on my basic attack, so I can go ahead and keep the pressure on. I'm also going to be going into a double spell sword too near the end. At least I'm going to try to get to that point. We'll have to see if we actually get there at the end of it. It does take a while to actually get. Spell Sword's one of the more expensive items to actually purchase throughout the match. So the whole point of it is to have this top end damage while having a bit of tankiness, again with that Shiver Steel and Slumbering Husk. So the reason why I'm doing this though is because we have two really squishy heroes, which are the Sky and the Gwen, and they're going to have a lot of kiting potential. So to go full tank Krul is kind of redundant. It's not really that efficient for this particular composition we're going against. So what I want to do is I want to be able to output as much damage as I can and stick to them as much as possible. So again, the Shiver Steel to have that stickiness, and then the double spell sword to have a lot more cooldown on my A and my ultimate, and also pop off my Bs whenever I have enough stacks, and just to kind of keep the pressure on as a Krul and be somewhat mobile. As awkward as it is to say, I really want to be mobile with Krul in this particular composition because there's so much kite potential. But anyways, we started off with a double weapon blade to start off with that top end damage, just having a lot more clearing efficiency and also be a little bit more aggressive. My A actually does quite a bit of damage with the double weapon blades. Plus with the basic attack stacking up with my B as well, it all really compounds. So you can see here, one thing with Krul is you really want to utilize that brush as much as possible. That's half your mobility, if not even more than half your mobility at this point. You really want to utilize that and chase your enemies from the brush and not just be running at them at the slow pace you normally run at without that passive effect. So you really want to go that route. Churnwalker is actually a really good pick with the Krul too. Churnwalker, Finn is pretty decent as well. Who else? Flicker can do really well too. Anybody that has the ability to slow down an enemy, so like the Finn pull, the Finn polite company. You also have the Quibble when you actually end up getting that stun. It even slows too in the beginning, so it's not too bad. The Churnwalker has that pull plus the chain itself has a slow, plus the B is the pull and the ultimate to go ahead and lock a whole team down, allowing the Krul to really stick to that enemy team. Now you could go potentially into like an Arden 2, that kind of works as well. You can go the other route where like the captain will go ahead and give you more run speed, but I feel like these ones that have a lot of CC favor Krul a bit more because you don't really want to be chasing if you can avoid it. You want to be able to just stick to them and stay in the area. Again, in this case, I'm trying to go the first one where I'm trying to stick to them as much as possible and have a lot of cooldown. But anyways, so here we are. So as a jungler, you do want to come to lane and apply pressure as much as possible. So I'm doing that here. And I'll even go into like really deep parts of the fight and really trying to put out my damage, and it can really hurt me sometimes, but sometimes, you know, it's like that right there, I died. Sometimes it actually turns out really well, and others it does not. It just, you have to be aggressive and not really always be scared to engage. I've noticed a lot of pro players tend to be extremely aggressive regardless of the risk to their own lives here on their heroes. They go really aggressive because they have full faith in their team. Here is a really nice one. You got that tension bow, and now I went ahead and procced my B off the Arden as well after bat, and it really was awesome to see that double kill back to back right there. So the reason why I go tension bow first is, again, I want that burstiness. I want to apply as much damage as possible, and later on it does actually help quite a bit because it gives you that armor piercing too. So it's not a half bad item mid game. Late game, it's not that great. You might want to go into like Probably a bone saw. You can go a bone saw and be just fine. If you don't really need to shred through armor, then you can go ahead and go into like that BP that you would normally get for sustained fights. Or, I don't see this, but if you really want to go top end damage, after getting the double spell swords, you could go tornado trigger or like a tyrant and go like the crit path. It's entirely up to you, but I feel like when you are the one leading the fray here and actually doing work, they're going to counter build you, so you want to keep that armor piercing going. And if you're going to end up ultimately getting rid of the tension bow, get the bone saw, right? Alright, so here we go, clearing the farm. Again, you want to maintain your rotations here as long as you can. Obviously, as the game goes on, you're going to be really preoccupied with team fights, and you're really going to have to split your attention, but try to the best of your ability to keep farming because you want to maintain that lead. Even apply pressure too. If you're starting to feel like you are really dominant in the match, especially like snowbally characters like Krul or Kashka, who else? Even Razer too is pretty snowbally once it starts to get fed. I guess Varia, but I'm not really going with laners. I'm kind of thinking of junglers here. Who else? Who else is really good at being snowbally? Well, anyways, you guys get the point. If you are really high in damage in the beginning, have a lot of snowball potential, and you are in the lead, utilize that and be very aggressive. You can see here, like, I'm just throwing poke every now and again, even if I'm taking a little bit of damage. Like, it's just whittling them down, and it makes them have to make other decisions, like, you know, not always just sitting on turret. They have to back off so we can go ahead and apply that pressure, because now they're afraid to even stay on top of that turret. Boink! That was so nice. Churn actually knew what he was doing though, which was really awesome. Nice. So another thing too. So you may notice that I went journey boots like almost immediately. So I went tension bow first. I grabbed my boots in between tension bow, finished the tension bow, got my journey boots second right away. I really emphasized the idea of trying to really stick to my enemies. I'm going with journey boots is really great for team fights, because when you are in combat and you use your journey boots and you're still in combat, it reduces the cooldown to what, like 9 or 10 seconds instead of the full length. I don't know how long it normally is, like 60 plus seconds. So you can constantly use that while in combat quite a bit. It's basically like a fourth ability at that point. And so it's really nice to have, especially if you want to play this kind of aggressive Krul that doesn't really go entirely tanky and goes a little bit more of a chase potential type of Krul. I don't ever see this done. Honestly, I don't, and it probably is for good reason. Probably that it's just not that great. I just maybe got a lucky match here. Again, I did go with the Krul and the build in conjunction with knowing the composition we were going against, and I built accordingly. And so that's why you see what's happening here with the build in Krul. This one is actually pretty nasty. If the churn didn't show up, I actually would have been in some deep trouble here. That ultimate right there, though, is awesome. That stun too. That stun block. Yeah, I don't know if he intentionally did it, but Eli actually stun blocked that that Gwen and allowed me to continue doing what I need to do. Look at these boots, man. These boots are so awesome. And I didn't connect enough damage, but it looks like Susha Fox is going to go ahead and secure that. That's... I am actually very happy with this build path, and I kind of want to keep trying it. Let me know if you guys try this out. So, like, again, just to kind of refresh the idea of the build. So, Krul's weak point. This is Krul's weak point, is that, yes, he's tanky. Yes, he has a lot of build-up damage. But he has a hard time sticking to characters that can really kite him, or with, you know, the team comps that have a lot of hard CC. But if you go this route, so you have that top end tension bow to begin with to kind of give you a little bit of a lead, as long as you utilize that. Then you go ahead and get that journey boots right away, second item, so you can keep chasing hard. Like, you'll always stick to them no matter what. No matter every fight, you always have journey boots up, and you're just constantly, you know, chasing people down and mowing them down with your basic attacks, and then finally your B. And that journey boot just allows you to keep stacking up, and they can't just get away. And so that's kind of like a counter, you know, way to build against these kite-based heroes. And then again, you go into your double spell swords. The double spell swords are for that higher damage output, plus the cooldown off of both of them. I don't know. What do you guys think of the build? Do you think it's actually somewhat viable? I feel like it really is. I really feel like it is. I really want to keep trying this and see how it does. To be honest though, like, there was a lot of synergy in our team. Elag was amazing as Churn, and Sushi Fox was really good at picking off, you know, the enemies and doing that damage. See, at this point, like, I didn't even care. Like, I'm just taking out the sentry. I'm like, I'm Krul. I can regen quite well, and I'm starting to have a lot of means to stick to people. I have that Journey Boots. I have the Poison Shiv. Again, the Poison Shiv is there to kind of stick even further. You just keep using that stuff, man. It's really, really nasty. So we're going to clear up, get as much gold as we can. Because every time we take gold from their side, it's gold they don't get. And that's even further behind the enemy gets. Because then they have to start running around aimlessly, not knowing what to do. Potentially getting ambient from the lane. Which means that one other person who normally would get ambient is not going to get ambient anymore. And so on and so forth. You just start to starve them. Ooh, Churn is in trouble, but we're gonna try to go in this. I'm gonna go ahead and try to stick to this. Oh god, the sky can't do anything. Like, it's disgusting. Look at this. Nope, you're not going anywhere. The point blank ultimates, dude, are kind of stupid, but it's working out for me. That triple kill, dude, that's disgusting. Now we're gonna go ahead and take out the turret and then go for gold from here. Honestly, what I could have done there, oh no, Sky is there, so I guess maybe that was a good idea that I finished that off. But a lot of times I see a lot of people just leave a little bit of health because the minions will take it out for you, which gives you a little bit extra time on that gold miner to kind of secure that, while letting the minions do some of that, you know, 2 to 3 seconds of work to get that turret down. This one was actually kind of scary. I actually thought he was gonna get it because I couldn't. I was having a hard time seeing the health bar of the gold miner, but we actually managed to still secure it. All right, using all my mobility here in my Shiver Steel. A lot of times I want to go for the Gwen more, just because I feel like she's more of a threat long run, because she is weapon power, and if she starts getting fed and get that BP more than likely, it starts to get really, really nasty and it's hard to handle. The only thing I might see that can be a problem here is if you have somebody who's a sustained based hero, this build may not be the best thing for you, because this is really meant for like squishy heroes. This was like my biggest mistake here. I kind of stuck around. I was trying to port, and this guy just put a vision down and killed me. I should have kept running back. I was already safe. If I kept running back, I probably would have made it out just fine. But that is that. Ooh, nice, nice. Sushi Fox definitely needs to be careful here. I think he is... and he does go down, but he managed to get the Arden. But here we go. Gonna go ahead and refocus on me. What's Churnwalker doing over here? He's just clearing lane. I'm probably gonna just get my backs. Yep. Keep farming it up. What is my farm right now? So I'm at 55. I'm at 11, 2, and 3. Not bad on the KDA. Krul, once he gets fed, it gets really, really disgusting. Like, pretty bad. Like, if I was on the enemy team right now, I'd be thoroughly annoyed. All right, here we go. Here comes the next engagement. Which is funny too, because Elag actually was very skeptical of the Krul pick. He's like, I think his exact words were, "Oh my god, the Krul pick." And I completely like understand his logic there and like his worry. But at the same time, I'm always confident, regardless if I feel like I'm gonna lose. I try to remain confident. Like if you guys talk to anybody I play with, unless I lose like 5, 6+ games in a row, then I start to just get really depressed and don't want to play anymore, and my confidence probably is completely gone. But in general, like, a lot of times I'm like, I don't know if we should be doing this. I'm like, no, we got this, like, this comp sucks. I'm like, no, we'll be fine, yeah, that spell sword actually is coming in handy. You can't do anything, dude. Nope. No stun on me. I don't think so. Jeez. Yeah, see, the spell sword is really nice because it allows me to keep, you know, using my A on them. Like every 5 seconds, I think it is right now. Let's see. 6 seconds. So every 6 seconds I can use that, which is actually pretty decent. Plus it gives that barrier. I wish Krul still had that insane barrier. But I think the barrier was off of CP, if I remember correctly. But I don't know. I remember it being pretty nasty. That's still a pretty decent barrier right there, though. It doesn't last long, but it's a decent barrier. Alright, grabbing the Kraken. Nice. This is also really great because I do really want the new skin that's coming to Krul. So I want to actually refine myself a bit on the Krul end. So that when the skin does come out, I can play the hero, because I've actually played it recently, and actually show off the skin without looking like a complete idiot playing Krul, because I haven't played him forever. The heroes I haven't played in forever are Petal, Jewel I'm really lacking on games, Koshka because she's been out of the meta, Krul was another one, Taka I've been playing occasionally, but I've had some really poor luck with it. It hasn't really been the best of heroes to play for me. What else? There is also, yeah, just run right in that ultimate there, Rumbly. Who else? Rhyme, it's very rare as well. It's stupid good. Yeah, it's every 12 seconds that the journey boots us up, my bad. Is it 12 seconds? I'm pretty sure it's 9. Let's see. 12. You know, it's 12. It's 12. Well, there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this gameplay playing Krul in the jungle in 3v3 ranked. There are the builds once again. We were going to go ahead and go into our second spell sword, so this would have been the complete build, unless you're selling the tension bow, which would have been probably a bone saw in my opinion. Or if they didn't have a lot of armor, which for whatever reason they did not. Well, I mean, they had the Slumbering Husk and Gwen was working on her armor. Then, you know, I think BP would have been just fine too. Especially since I was already kind of sticky, so BP actually would have been actually pretty good. Double Spell Sword BP, if you don't really shred through armor. Otherwise, Bone Saw. Or you can keep your tension bow and just work with that. It's entirely up to you. But there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay and the voiceover, the analyzing the gameplay. I know I wasn't supposed to do this. I was supposed to be recording it and just doing live commentary on the video, but I forgot to hit the record button. So here we are doing this again. But there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Later!